Hi, brothers and sisters. This video is talking about the church's policy and guidelines for scriptures, specifically different editions and translation of the Bible, and how you can use that in your seminary classes here. The first thing I want to talk about is just these new, not changes, but this new addition and to the Church Handbook. So if you go to section 38.8.40, in the church policies and guidelines, it brings you to a heading called Scriptures, and it explains to you that the church publishes its own edition of the Bible, and church published editions are based on standard Bible texts, such as the King James Version in English, the Reina Valera in Spanish, and the Almeida in Portuguese. They include footnotes, subject indexes, and other study guides. However, there are different examples of different translations that might be more suitable for different reading levels. And so if you go to this Holy Bible list that is hyperlinked here, it'll bring you to a page called Holy Bible Translations and Formats. And if you scroll down, it gives you a list of different Bible editions that you can use in different languages. So if we scroll down to English, it gives you quite a few of them. And it's really handy because it breaks it down into different reading levels. So the suggested reading Bible for reading levels for the 9th to 11th grade is the English Standard Version, the ESV, or the New Revised Standard, which is the NRSV. For 6th to 8th grade, we have the New International Version, the New Living Translation, or the New King James Version. And for 3rd grade, you're looking at the New International Reader's Version. If you click on the link, it'll bring you to the App Store. And at the App Store, it will bring you to, sorry, I already downloaded it, so I'll have to bring it up here. It'll bring you to this app here, which is called the Holy Bible, or the Bible app, and it's brought to you by the Life Church. And if you open it up, I've already downloaded it, you can access different translations of the Bible really simply. So top left-hand corner, you have the scripture chapter, so Genesis chapter 1, and this is a New International Reader's Version. And you can download multiple different versions here. So I have the English Standard Version for 9th to 11th grade. I have the New International Version, which is for 4th to 8th. And then I have the New International Reader's Version, which is for 3rd grade. Let's just show how they read differently. So let's go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, 2, and let's read verses 1 to 5. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and the darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness, called the light day and the darkness night. And there was evening and there was morning and the first day. Okay, so that is the English Standard Version, very similar to the King James Version. Let's look at the next one. New International Version, which again, this is for 6th to 8th graders. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. A little bit different than formless and void, right? Without form and void. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God said the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and he called the darkness night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. So that's a New International Version. Reads a little bit easier. Let's go to the New International Reader's Version for 3rd graders. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth didn't have any shape, and it was empty. There was darkness over the surface of the waves. And at that time, the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good. He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, he called the darkness night. There was evening, and there was morning. It was day 1. Reads a lot simpler, and I don't think it really takes much from it. If anything, it just eliminates the Old English, makes it a little bit easier to read. So, in my personal study, in my lesson preparation, or in my classroom, how can I use this? A really simple way to do it is, if you're in your lesson preparation, you are reading the chapter and you're identifying a couple words or phrases or even verses or chapters that are really hard to understand. What I would do is I would open this Bible app. I would look at these different translations. And again, you know your students. You know if they're a 3rd grade reading level, 6th to 8th reading level, if they're at par with high school. And what I would do is I would consult these different versions, and I would find one that might add some clarification. So for instance, the idea that the earth didn't have any shape and it was empty. There was darkness over the surface of the waves, and at that time the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. That reads a little bit easier than the King James Version. So what you can do is you can click on it, you can copy, you can then open up your gospel library, go to Genesis chapter 1, or wherever you're reading. You can highlight chapter 2 or wherever it is, create a new note, and you can paste it in here. And it says the earth didn't have any shape and it was empty. There was darkness over the surface of the waves, blah, 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 blah. You paste it, and then it gives you a footnote or a reference to where it's from. You click on done. And now when I'm reading my Bible, I can see these different translations right there. So I can read, and the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And I can read it side by side with, the earth didn't have any shape, and it was empty, there was darkness over the surface of the waves, and at that time the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. A little bit easier to understand. So it's just a really simple way you can use different translations for different reading levels to make it a little bit easier for you and your students to understand. Hope that helps.